How we doing tonight? You know, it's amazing how fast 6 o'clock can turn into 6:01 when you're like shoveling food in your face, trying to finish dinner. But that's okay. The dog got a little extra tidbits tonight. Just trying to hurry and get on the call here. Hopefully everybody can hear me and see me okay. Okay. Alrighty. Hi, Barbara. Yes, this is going to be, I think, a very fun and interesting live stream. Hi, Terry. Glad you can be here. Hello, Mellow Yellow. Hi, Angela. Hello, TH. Hi, Laura. Hi, Rich. Hi, Chris. Hello, Estella. Hi, Will. Awesome. Hi, Deb. Hi, Dennis. Glad everybody can be here tonight. Okay, so for tonight's live stream, we are going to be... Hello, Corbin. Still trying to adjust here. You can hear me. Okay, thank you, TH. I appreciate it. Okay. Audio is good. Okay, cool. Great, great, great. Alrighty, so here we are going to be wood burning an owl, and not just any owl, but a white owl. So I know that a lot of people have had troubles wood burning white animals, especially white fur. This is a great example of a subject that is very white, but there's so many values in here that we can draw upon and really give nice dimension to this, that this should be a very fun project. So also, this pattern is available for the patrons on Patreon. So if you are not on Patreon, please go ahead and take a look at that. For as little as $5 a month, you get all of the reference photos, the patterns, and the access to the entire library of live streams. This is our 37th live stream, so there is a wealth of knowledge on Patreon right now to where you can go through and browse and pick and choose which subjects you really want to learn. So if you haven't signed up for Patreon yet, please give it a strong consideration. It doesn't take hardly any money. I mean, if you think about it, I usually do a live stream every week. So, and each live stream is 2 hours. So, even if there's only 4 weeks, you got a lot of hours of footage every month for only $5. Plus you get access to everything else. So, very cool. Please take a look. Check it out. There's my plug for the evening. Yeah, I can't believe it, Laura. This is our 37th live stream. So, if you're not sure what I'm doing right now, I am just sanding down the guidelines. In fact, let me change up everything here, and we're gonna make this a little bit better. I might move myself over there for a bit. Okay. Not sure how well that's going to work, but it's fine for now. Okay, so what we do after we transfer on our pattern with graphite paper is I like to sand down these guidelines because they can be a little bit intense depending on how hard you press. So the key to transferring well with graphite paper is moderating your downward pressure. So the harder you press, the darker your lines are going to be. The lighter you press, the lighter the lines will be. So a lot of times it's important just to kind of like take a peek as you're transferring on your image to make sure that, number one, your lines are dark enough, and number two, that they're not too dark. So there's a fine balance in there, and you kind of figure that out with time. But that, Graphite paper is a huge time saver when it comes to creating wood burnings. You can draw on the wood with pencil, with graphite. It's a little bit unruly to erase, so that's why sandpaper is helpful. These are just little sandpaper pads. And then they don't make these anymore from 3M. So I have recently purchased these little sanding pads with the fluffy stuff on the back to, it's not very abrasive. The soft fluffy stuff is flexible and it's not going to gouge, other sandpapers will. So these are from M Jump. I got them on Amazon. So anyway, a little bit of time here just to kind of soften some of these lines, because you don't use an eraser on the wood. It just kind of makes a mess. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to this as well. Laura and Barbara. Yes. So Rich, you have a little bit of blurriness. Okay. Okay, so Rich, Barbara says, yeah, log out, or not log out, but just close the window and then come back and it might clear up for you. So hopefully we'll have the internet peoples behave tonight and everything will work smoothly. Okay. So Chris Jones, you say that there are mesh pads. Pen turners use them to finish coating on pens. That's great. I know I was gifted, like 1 or 2 pieces of butternut from an amazing artist back east, and he suggested using kind of a mesh type sanding pad as well. So those are bigger, but anyway, very cool. Yeah. All right. Hi, Tony. Okay, so here is my reference photo. I did add a little bit extra features to the pattern for the patrons on Patreon. So I'm going to really try to stick with what I have here, but I was reading on some of the reviews from my book that the patterns were a little bit light, and I want to try to kind of correct that and get you guys the best possible pattern that I can. So as always, we're going to start with the eyes first, and that I think is always the funnest part. So I'm going to move me again over there because we need to see the owl. The owl is most important anyway. So here we go. Alrighty, I might zoom in a tad so we can really see these eyes. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see the reference photo and the wood. Okay, so here we go. All right. Okay, thanks, Barbara. All right, so for this project, because it is so light and dainty, I will probably use the Walnut Hollow Creative Versa tool for the entire project, because I like that level of control that I get with this burner. Okay, so subject to burn those glassy eyes, those beautiful, glossy, shiny eyes. So that's what we're going to be working on. Corbin, this is basswood. Most every time that you log in or watch a live stream, I'll be working on basswood. On a very rare occasion, I will do other woods, but it's usually basswood. Great question though, Corbin. Thank you. Okay, so okay. So one of the coolest things about those glossy eyes are the highlights. So we have to maintain the integrity of these really bright zones. So sometimes when I draw guidelines around these white areas, I make them almost maybe a little bit bigger, just so that they stay really crisp. We can kind of touch on that a little bit more, but my burner is maxed out at the highest temp. If you are burning with the razor tip, for sure, it gets so hot that it's easy to scorch. And I'm also going to rock the point up and get a more extreme angle here so I can get these nice fine lines. Now you can work on this, these dark sections from different angles, or just kind of go straight down. The main thing that you have to watch out with this burner is if you, hold on, let me show you. You got to watch out for overburn. So we've talked about overburn quite a bit on the live stream, but if you're new here, if you're trying to make kind of a nice crisp edge and you have your burner too flat and you stay there too long, you're going to get some ghosting and overburn. So that's that little fuzzy part over here that you didn't really intend to burn, but it happened just because your point was a little bit too close to the wood. So keep in mind with a point this big that overburn is a possibility. So sometimes I'll work from this side and then the other side and kind of go back and forth and switch up areas that I'm working on so that I don't get that excessive heat. So right now I'm just going to kind of outline carefully some of my main features. And I've moved everything, so I'm trying to, if you see me like look up and I'm trying to find out what's where, I've moved my layout here. So hi Jennifer C, glad you can be here. We've missed you too. I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so if you look down here, there's just a really faint kind of water line, like the edge of the skin where the skin meets the eye. And we want to maintain that integrity, so we're going to have to really kind of take our time and be careful. I'm going to rock the point up quite extreme to get in there. It's kind of a tiny section. Now these are kind of wavery, they're not exactly straight, so that's what it shows in the reference photo, so we gotta kind of match that. Very good, Jennifer, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Hi Larry, glad you can be here tonight. Okay, so once we get our main features kind of blocked in, we're going to go ahead and fill those in. I might adjust this a little bit and zoom in a tad. Just so you can see a little bit better. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. So This eye is actually quite simple because we've already outlined some of the nice bright highlights that we want to maintain, and then the majority of the rest of the eye is just solid black. So this should go quite nicely and quite quickly. So Jennifer is saying, I still cannot get the color black with one pass, even on a high with the Versatool. Grr. I have learned to like dark brown. Okay. Yeah, Larry is right, Jennifer. A lot of times you'll have to go back over and do another pass over the black, or just really slow down and move at a snail's pace to get that dark. A lot of times I will, like we're going to do right here on this eye, I'll probably burn it all once, and then I'll have to go back over and what I call kind of richen it up. We want to make those dark values just push past dark brown and achieve more of a jet black. So another layer or two, and patience can help, but layering is definitely important. Yeah, Jennifer, if you're really struggling with those dark values, you might slow down. And then you can always go back over and do multiple layers too. Jennifer, even with several passes, it seems deep dark brown. Okay. Yeah. That is a very good question. And Jennifer, if you're comparing what you are seeing on your wood burnings to like photos of mine where it's like jet solid black, you can't even see wood grain, sometimes that's my doing with Photoshop, just where I'm trying to make it as dark as possible for prints. Normally, even though you burn as dark as possible, you still can see wood grain. I don't have that one available, but you will probably still always see a little bit of that wood grain. If you look back and forth with the light, it'll adjust slightly. I do tweak my black backgrounds slightly when making prints. So that's when you can't see anything. There's no wood grain. So full disclosure there. I do tweak it a little bit in Photoshop for prints just to make sure it's as solid black and uninterrupted as possible so it focuses more on the subject. I do also have photos of my work without that, to where you can see the wood grain and you can see a little bit of sheen, but usually you should be able to get a really nice solid black. You will still see a little bit of the wood grain shining through. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Jennifer started using some basswood too. Okay. Also, Jennifer, are you sanding your wood before you burn? Because the wood that we get from, I get my wood from walnuthollow.com, and their wood has been planed and it's very smooth. However, I usually smooth it significantly more, and that might be a factor as well. Okay, hi Steve. So Jennifer, you're wondering if it might be that Versatool. Okay. And you, Jennifer, are you using the shading point like I am, or are you using a different point? Okay, so Jennifer, you're going up to 200 grit. Okay. You might go a little bit farther, try 400 or 600 grit. Okay. Oh, 2000 grit. Okay. That should be plenty. And a shading point. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Jennifer, you might send me some pictures of your darkest brown that you can get, and I don't know, maybe I can take a look and see why you're not getting a true dark value, because even with this, with one pass, come up here, it is quite dark. Can see a little bit of shine there, but it's quite dark. So I'm concerned or kind of perplexed as to why you can't quite get that. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to turn this upside down to maintain some of these really nice crisp edges. Okay, yeah, Jennifer, yeah, just reach out, email me, send me what you've got. And we'll go from there. Okay. Jennifer, probably email would be best. I don't always get notifications on Patreon. I don't know why, but I log in there and then I see stuff that was there a while ago. So email me would be best. I'll get it right away. Rich is asking, does the bean bag support help with maintaining just the tip of the point on the wood? Yes, it does. So, depending on how I use this bean bag, whether it's just kind of like this or doubled over and bigger, helps to get your hand into a better position. And helps, you can get a more upright and vertical position if you really mash that thing up and double it up underneath your hand. Okay. So here we have one very shiny owl eye to start with. Again, that glossiness comes from the unburned wood, and that purity really kind of brightens things up. Now we can always go back later and kind of hit these highlights with white colored pencil to really make them pop. So, okay. Alrighty. So now we're going to do the same thing on this eye. This one has a little bit more intriguing designs and all that. Larry, that's fantastic. You're doing a presentation at your church tomorrow? Good luck. That's wonderful. Very, very cool. Corbin is asking, as far as the black round, background perhaps, are you going to leave it white or do a solid black like the reference photo? I will do a solid black on this one, yes. I agree, Laura. Yep, I like the eyes looking back at you too. So after we get these eyes taken care of, we'll kind of build out from there. So we're going to do the same thing. Take our time, get a nice hard edge as we kind of block in our key features. Hi Cheryl, glad you can be here. I was running a little bit late too. Cool, Jennifer, I will look for that email. Okay. Not sure how much we can do here. I might just turn this. We'll just go bloop. Okay. All right. Sometimes I find myself holding my breath when I do really fine lines like that, so. Takes a little bit of concentration. Okay. We're going to turn them again. You guys hold your breath too? Okay, cool, yeah. It's like, I don't really think I can talk right now because I'm not breathing. I gotta hold my breath. Hey, how are you?
Good. Hi,
Good.
people. Hello.
Hello. Say hi to Will.
Hello, people. Hello. Okay, I'll go make food now.
Okay.
You've gotten your weekly content of me.
Alrighty, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Don't mind me.
Alrighty. So there's This is where it can be really challenging because you've got multiple layers of dark light, dark light, dark light. So you got to really take your time and not get lost in the reference photo and make sure you're burning exactly what you need to. Everybody says hi, Will.
Hi, people. Hi.
He says hi, people.
Hello.
So really crisp edges here, rocking that point way up to get a nice fine crisp line. And if you want to use a different wood burner or point that gets a nice crisp line, that helps. Whatever you're comfortable with working on really dainty lines is helpful. Hi Jeff, glad you can be here. No pizza tonight, darn it. Sadly, yeah. Will's bummed.
I'm very sad and angry.
I
I
know.
want my pizza.
I know.
Alexia had tummy ache and I couldn't get pizza.
I know.
And it makes me angry.
Yeah. But I made a giant batch of potato soup,
It's very good.
and that's dinner.
It's very, very good.
Thank you. Barbara, that's why you avoid zebras. Gotcha. Yeah, the dark light, it makes it definitely a challenge. Sometimes it's hard to stay on the right zone and make sure that it all works out, but okay, so we're going to turn this again. I find that turning the wood is so crucial when it comes to wood burning. These really fine areas with fine lines and dark areas, anytime I wood burn eyes, I usually turn the wood several times just to make sure that I get these nice crisp edges that I'm able to keep everything nice and clean. No overburn. And you want a nice hard edge on that. Hi, Earthborn Graphics. Glad you can be here. Yeah, Terry and Barbara, I have a surplus of potatoes that I got to do something with before they sprout into the next world. And so, big pot of potato soup tonight. Now, if you're working with the razor tip and you find that burning this dark with fine lines makes that little orange ghosting off to the side, you might want to turn your burner down. The razor tip is definitely a powerful tool and it's fantastic, but you gotta make sure that you turn the burner down. I see all too often people, me included when I first started, just crank that thing up and try to burn, and it damages the surface of the wood, and just the wood surface just peels off after it's burned. It's kind of weird, and then you get that ghosting. So if you're struggling to get nice crisp dark lines like this, where this part is really dark and this part out here is nice and bright, turn your burner down, and that can certainly help. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Yeah.
No, they have an open cheese, Swiss cheese. Or do I have to open this new one?
I think that's the only one that we have.
Okay.
Okay. Earthborn Graphics, potato chips and fries. Absolutely. Makes a mess out of my kitchen though. But yeah, the kids love French fries.
Yes, I love them.
All right, well, I'll just have to make some tomorrow.
Yes, please.
All right, Corbin says, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes I spend more time spinning the board than actually burning. Yes, I agree. And it can get a little bit time consuming. So when I'm burning for myself, a lot of times I'll sit here and I'll wood burn both eyes from the same position. I'll get just as much as I can and fill out, and then I'll rotate it 90 and then do everything that I can on both eyes and then rotate it. So by the time I make a full complete circle, I have both eyes done. So that kind of helps speed up the spinning. But yeah, definitely. Larry is asking, are you going to present at the Woodburn Corner live stream? Yes, I am. That is the big surprise for one of our Friday live streams will be, I think, February 10th. I will be a live presenter with the Woodburn Corner with their Woodburn sessions, and we will be focusing on some really cool live wood burning with them. Something that we haven't done on these live streams yet. I'm still honing in on the plan that I want to make, but yes, I will be Friday night, Larry. Same time, 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, so very cool. Chris, yeah. Now, I will be an affiliate for that, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that yet, but anyway, if you want to, everything is free to attend, but if you want to purchase recordings, I will have a link like on the 24th sent out to where if you want to purchase a recording and you go through my link, I get, a portion of those proceeds. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, I'll send an email out on the 24th letting everybody know about that, that affiliate link. So, okay. Thanks, Larry. Okay, yeah, the eyes are definitely popping right now for sure. Cool. Jeff, yes, I will be doing a black background on this one. Larry, okay. No, Larry, that's fine. You didn't steal my thunder at all. I wasn't sure when Rachel was going to make that announcement, so I see that she sent out an email. So if everybody else knows, then yeah, I'm here. I'll be there on Friday. Terry, do you access the live stream the same way? Probably not. I'll figure that out, and you'll be sent a link and all that to access that new cool live stream that we're going to do with Rachel over at Woodburn Corner. Okay. So, I have just a little bit to finish up here on these eyes. And then you might notice that not all of these things are pure white in the eyes. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of shading. So we're going to be right here. Just adding a soft, subtle shading to that. And here. And a little bit on this back side. So that can help as well. So it looks like on the screen I just completely killed that eye, but if you look closely, there's just some nice dainty round bits here that kind of add some interest. Okay, owl eyes. So Chris, you got the email today to register for the live streams. Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and register. Get signed up. That's all very, very good. as far as the affiliate link, that's to purchase a recording. So that I'll send out an email on the 24th if you want to purchase a recording of the event afterwards. Okay. So the next thing I like to do after establishing the eyes is I start to wood burn around the eyes and give that more depth, because the eyes are looking okay right now, but we need a lot more structure in here. So I usually start with the main features. And then kind of build around those main features and then move outwards from there. So it's really interesting how feathers are so much like fur when you burn them. They're very, very similar. Thanks, TH. Yeah, please give us a like on the video. I really appreciate it. So a lot of times short feathers are just a back and forth motion like you would burn fur. Oh, and guys, I did not do an impromptu live stream for the bunny, Mr. Whiskers, that we started a couple weeks ago. So last week's live stream, I did not get a chance to finish that out on live stream. We have been hammered with snow again this week, and I've been on the tractor clearing the roads and on the shovel clearing out our yard. So much to where I did not get a chance to do that, finish up that bunny wood burning. But that is still, I will do that, and we'll get that finished up as well. Jeff, yes, I will definitely throw a little bit of colored pencil into these eyes. I think that is just fantastic. So Mr. Whiskers is still waiting in the wing, and we will wood burn the rest of him soon. And that's one of the things that I struggle with as far as saying, hey, I'm gonna finish Mr. Whiskers the bunny wood burning on, say, Thursday, and then Wednesday we get a dump of snow and I'm digging out all day. So that's why it's an impromptu live stream, and I have a hard time planning those because of our weather right now. I mean, we probably have 4.5 to 5 feet of snow on the ground right now, and it's difficult to do much of anything except for dig. Dig. Because sometimes I will shovel snow for 2 hours every day just to get the basics opened up around our place, and then I'll be on the tractor for 5 hours a day after a big storm, just so that we can get in and out, to and from town. And it's crazy, but that's okay. I would rather we get snow in the winter than burn in the summertime. So anyway, crazy. Terry, doesn't that bother your neck when you do things like shoveling snow? Absolutely. My neck and my back is they're a disaster right now, and it's snowed so much I can't even get to the chiropractor. So that's okay. We'll just take some ibuprofen and keep going. No, it's not easy. My hands, I've had wrist pain from lifting the snow and shoveling because this winter has been epic and beautiful. I'll have to put some photos out and show you guys what we've got to deal with. It's unbelievable this year. Biggest snow year since we've been here. Hi, Angela. Yes, Earthborn Graphics, we're buried. So our house is built like 4 feet up off the ground because of the snow. And I look out my window and I can't see like I can only see halfway up because we get the snow off the roof. Crazy. I'll put out some photos on our, there's a Patreon group on Facebook. So, Will loves whitewashing his siblings in the snow. Two can play at that game, Will. I'll just bring in a shovel full of snow while you're sleeping, buddy. How about that? Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of shading in here. That's my son, if you haven't figured that one out. Corbin, I'm in Colorado. Yep. Yep, Larry, sometimes those chiropractors are just really appreciated. So Barbara, the photos that I put on Facebook, we have probably 2 more feet of snow than when I posted those. It's bonkers. Okay, so you can see how I'm starting to develop some of those nice rich values around the eye. That'll tie the eye into its surrounding. Will, I will take you up on that. Tomorrow, buddy, I will bring a shovel of snow and I will put it upon you in your bed. You're funny. Yeah, Barbara, it's amazing. You had a cabin in Wyoming. Yeah, we have tunnels shoveled out around here too. I wish that I could just like get a little miniature snowblower and snow blow the little pathways, but it's a little out of our budget range right now, so it's me on a shovel. All right, Will. The lines have been drawn. Yeah, Terry, it's difficult. I don't really have much of a choice, so we have to shovel out to the wood shed, and we actually have a wood shed this year, which is fantastic. We used to have a tarp over the wood pile with 4 feet of snow. That was brutal because you always had to uncover the darn pile before you could do anything. So it's better now. And it's a cute little wood shed that my husband made. It's super cute. Okay, so back and forth motions here, just really trying to develop kind of a tie-in to the eye. Cool. Yeah, Terry, I'll have to post some pictures. No, Chris, I agree. Will should be the snowblower. I have 2 teenage boys that need to be doing more shoveling. Like a lot more shoveling. Or they're gonna just bring the snow in and put them on their beds. Sounds good. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And yeah, Barbara, tarps are tough. Wood sheds are amazing. So helpful. So back and forth motions just looks a lot like fur. Another thing, if you look at feathers, sometimes you'll see all these little, oh my gosh, it can be very, very complex and confusing. When you look at fur, let me see if I can get you a good picture here. So see right here, you've got like all kinds of little wispy things and little intricate areas like here. I don't do that. I don't burn each and every individual hair or feather, anything like that. I want to get more of the feeling of the creature instead of each and every hair stroke. So Mellow Yellow, you're in Nova Scotia. Or you were. Gotcha. Halfway up the windows. Yeah, we've had to unbury our windows. We even had to board them up one year because the snow and ice comes off the roof and then hits the window, and that's not very good. So we have windows that are buried too. But like I said, I would rather dig snow in the winter than burn in the summer. We've had to evacuate once and due to wildfires, and it's horrible. So bring on the snow. I'll just keep shoveling. Barbara, yeah, crisscross feathers are just a nightmare to burn. So don't get caught up so much in the intricate details of the feathers. Try to take a step back and look at the overall impression that they make kind of like this. So Corbin, you're in Kansas and everything's just flat. I would probably freak out. I've been through Kansas a time or two, and that's not my cup of tea. I need the mountains. I have to know which way I'm facing. I can be in the middle of the mountains anywhere and find my way, but you put me in a shopping mall and I'm lost. Same thing with Kansas. I need to see where things are. Show me the horizon and the mountains. And so if you find that you need a little bit more control in some of these areas, go ahead and turn your burner down or move it a little bit faster. Again, feathers can be very abstract, a lot like fur. So if you don't get them exactly right, that's totally okay. Just try to get the overall feel. So match the direction. You can see that the feathers curve around the eye and then kind of angle up. So we want to make sure that we match that. And a lot of times it takes more than one pass, a couple different layers to get it looking the way that we want it. So, Jeff, is Will shoveling? If Will is shoveling, who would make the pizza? Absolutely. He'll make his brother shovel before. Will tell his brother, you go get the pizza and I will cook it. Because we have to kind of like shovel snow to go get pizza. To get it out of the other freezer. We got to do a lot of shoveling just to get to the pizza, Will. Keep that in mind. Rich, you have not had snow at all this winter. Well, Florida is a little bit anti-snow, and that's okay. All right. Oh gosh. Yeah, Barbara, the freezing weather is what really gets dangerous. Mellow yellow, you don't get as much snow anymore. Ah, you had green grass. We won't see green grass. We won't see the ground from usually November until May. We don't see the ground. We don't see anything but snow from November until May. So it's a full 6 months of winter up here. Okay. So I'm really kind of trying to get creative with my angles here. I might have to turn the wood a little bit. Earthborn Graphics. It's been warmer than usual this year and I'm loving it. Been trying to rebuild an old shed since May, so I'm making good use of the warmer temperatures. That's one of my big challenges up here. Our big challenges is we have so many outdoor projects that we have to time because of the weather. Laura, we got like a foot of snow and then another foot of snow like each day, and then we got 6 inches of snow every 24 hours for a week. And it was hours and hours of shoveling every day for a week. It's been crazy. So Jeff, you're saying that you wish your walnut hollow got as hot as mine does. I can't figure out why. So a lot of times with the Versatool, to have it kind of on its own power strip, like if you have anything else plugged into it, like a light or a computer or a fan, it can really pull the heat out of the, I guess, how do I say this? There's only enough electricity from one outlet to go around to everything, and I have found that plugging my VersaTools into their own outlet with very minimal draw on that outlet seems to work better. Also, take a look at your point. Jennifer, you too. If your burner is not getting hot enough, take a look at your point and see if there's carbon built up on it. So you can see this one I did clean. Rachel from Woodburn Corner would be proud. I did clean this one because a lot of times I don't, and that does make an impact and a difference. Where's my things? So if you turn your point over, I don't know if I have one here. So I have like this little dish full of points. So see, this one has a little bit more carbon on the end of it, that black spot, if I can focus. That's not very big carbon, but sometimes if you build up carbon, whoops, on your point, that can mess with your temperature as well, significantly. So, yeah, Jennifer and Jeff, take a look at your points, because Jennifer, I forgot that, and see if you might have carbon built up. It'll be a big black blob on the tip of it. I don't really see one in here right now, but turn your burner off, let it cool completely, and then sand it down nicely. Okay, so Jeff, you've polished yours. Okay, cool. Okay. Bye, Corbin. Okay, thanks, TH. I like the eyes too. They're coming along nicely. That's interesting, Terry. I don't know why they're not getting hot enough. Yeah, I would definitely isolate the VersaTool and try that. Make sure you don't have a fan going as well. Heaters, fans, anything that might blow air or push air, an open window, whistling. And then an obvious point is, are you making sure that your burner warms up for the full 5 minutes? Your burner, the VersaTool, I usually set a timer for 5 minutes and make sure that I don't even try to wood burn until that 5-minute mark. That's something I am. Anyway, let me know. Are you letting your burner warm up? Because it's not an instant go like the VersaTool. Yes, Barbara, the ambient room temperature can also affect the burners. If your house is cold, your burner will be a little bit more cold as well. Okay, but yeah, give it 5 full minutes to warm up before you try to use it. And if you hear snoring, it's not me, it's my dog. Passed out on the floor. Hello, Ms. Treble. Glad you can be here. Ms. Treble is saying also, if the connection to the tip isn't good enough, it will not get hot enough. So yeah, make sure that your point is screwed in all the way as well. That's important too. So Terry, you've got some air conditioning? Okay. And ceiling fans. Okay. Yeah. Any kind of circulating air, if you try to work outside and there's a little bit of a breeze, or if it's cold outside, that burner will not get hot enough. Alrighty, so as we work our way out away from the eyes, everything gets a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna try to sand down some of these guidelines here. I try to push harder on the reference photos so you guys can see things, but I usually only just do a whisper of a line, so then I have more sanding to do. But I want to make sure you guys can see the reference photo. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and turn this back around. So now we have a little bit more depth to the eyes. Probably what I will do next is the next main feature is the beak. It is a beak, it is not a nose. So if you didn't join in for last week's session, we had a very interesting and lively discussion about the anatomy of rabbits. So if you missed that, go ahead and check that out on Patreon. It was kind of fun. And all the different thoughts on that was very interesting. A lot of fun. Okay, so beaks are like with owls. Sometimes they're like really tucked back into the fluffy area of the upper beak, and they're kind of hard to see. So my advice when wood burning owl beaks is to really follow your reference photo. Because sometimes they just look a little bit weird and you kind of have to just go with it. Yes, Jeff, it's paws, not hands and feet. So Jeff was here for the last live stream where we talked about bunnies. Again, if you want that, go check it out on Patreon because it was fun. It was a hoot. So there's this weird little line on the beak here, so I'm going to put that in with a nice crisp line. Now, you know how I talk about dark things push backwards and light things pull forward? The beak is going to be an exception because there's more light coming in on the side of the beak. Normally, I would shade more around the beak, but in this case, it's not quite going to be that way. So we're going to do that back and forth motion and start blocking in some of these fluffy feathers on the beak. So this has a very fluffy and feathery look to it. A lot of times I'll rock the point up and do a more aggressive approach to the burning, where I get some more crisp lines, hard edges to create texture first. And then I'll go back over and kind of soften things up a little bit and add more shading. I tend to like to put down texture before shading. That's kind of my preference, but you can do that in any way that you'd like. Yes, Jeff, high contrast brings things forward. Muted tones pushes things back. I agree. That's very, very good. And so I'm going to go over and add some more layers to build up some of those more mid-tone ranges. So Larry is asking about how to do a horse's mane and tail. So manes and tails are basically all about long strokes. The Versatool tends to, you gotta move it really slow. Oh, sorry, make sure I'm over here. The Versatool, if you're gonna do long strokes with the upper tip, you need to really take your time and be one with the snail and go really slow. So you're going to want to do that again and again, just really following the general shape of the mane or the tail. Now you can go in and kind of block it in pretty quickly, but it's going to be light. You're going to want to move much slower and put in some of those inverted V's that we talked about. But it'll take a while with the Versatool, but you can do it. I've done it a lot of times. Just really go slow, multiple layers. Keep following that general feel. So right now mostly what I have is texture, so you're going to want to go back again and soften it up and add a little bit of shading in there as well. So no, this really isn't quite I haven't seen a mane and a tail on an owl, but that's okay. That's a good question, Larry. So something like this. So you're going to want to lay down your texture first with long, smooth strokes. Slower is better for those darker areas. And then you're going to want to go back over and start adding in some shading. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how to do a horse's mane and tail. So good question, Larry. You're welcome. Jeff, yeah, my dad does have a website. It is LannyGrantFineArt.com. And it's like amazing. Fantastic. Absolutely. So yeah, my dad, if you're kind of new here, my dad is a professional artist. He, I think, like quit his day job and went professional artist the year I was born. So it was a very cool and interesting, sometimes challenging childhood growing up, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. He creates oil landscapes, and if you look up LannyGrantFineArt.com, you can see some of his amazing work. Hello.
Hi.
How we doing?
Good. Real good.
Okay.
I owe you
Okay.
a lot.
Everything should be good to go for you there.
I'd say so.
Is it still 12 degrees or is it colder?
11, and it feels like -2.
Whoa, okay.
It doesn't feel that bad.
Okay. All right. Let me know if you need anything.
Just you. Just you.
All righty.
See you in a bit.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Angela. Yeah, he does amazing paintings. Barbara, yes, my dad was with Trailside Gallery in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for many, many years, like my whole life. I think he's still there. They've had, I think, change of ownership and all that, so I don't know if he's still there, but I grew up going to watch some of his like open house gallery events in Trailside Gallery in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It was the coolest thing for a young little artist. It was awesome. Very, very cool. Terry, yeah, my dad is very supportive of my art, and he's just wonderful. We've gone out painting together several times over the years, and that's way cool. We actually had a father-daughter show in Ouray, Colorado. I think before I had kids, so it's been a while, but I did some some oil painting art, and he and I had an exhibit together, which was really cool. We've actually been in some competitions together too. So his paintings and my, it was actually the train, Chaos, the big steam train. So we had a local art contest, and we each had pieces in there, and we both placed in the top 3. So that was really, really cool. I think he was really proud, and I was very honored, and it was awesome. Okay, so let's take a look here at what we've got. Whee! All right. Yeah, Chris, it's a great time for Will to be out shoveling snow. He needs like more shovel time. Okay, so you can see we're starting to kind of develop some of our main features here. We might just continue building that. One thing that I like to do is kind of outline. I think I'll add a little bit of this wood burning in here and kind of define the nose, beak, and then we'll start underneath here and develop some of these darker textures and values, and then kind of come around and make that nice little rounded area before we move on. Barbara, that is way cool. Oh, you remember Conrad Schwering? I was at his house. I went to Conrad Schwering's house when I was a little girl. My dad knew him and wound up actually getting some of his stuff after he passed away, like an easel and all that. So Conrad Schwering had a huge impact in my dad's artwork. So cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I bet, Barbara, you did see some of his artwork while you were there. And if you guys don't know Conrad Schwering, Barbara put that name in the chat, so you guys can go look that up if you want to see another amazing oil artist who had a big influence on my dad. So, very cool. Yeah, Terry, it's very, very neat. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Laura. We're getting there, guys. Sometimes I have a hard time just talking about art techniques for 2 hours, so we kind of get off on these fun little tangents, but that's okay. I think it helps us find a common ground as artists. Rich is asking, have you turned down the temp for the midtones? Not yet, Rich, because I'm moving pretty darn fast, and I am blowing on the point occasionally. So a lot of times these lighter values are just kind of like a quick under sketch. Like you're just trying to kind of figure out where you're going to go with the project. Barbara says, I thought he might have known Conrad. I think Conrad's art is still on the Jackson State Bank calendars. Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll never forget. I don't think, I may have been like 6 or 7 years old. It was a very early memory, but I remember going to Conrad Schwering's house and being there. And his house had this grand panoramic window view of the Tetons. And if you don't know Wyoming, the Tetons are like the mountain range in Wyoming. And it was a beautiful little area with gardens and little rock patios. It was gorgeous. And I don't remember why we were there, but there were chipmunks and it was really cool, and pine trees, and it was gorgeous. So very honored to be at Conrad Schwering's house. Very, very amazing artist. Jeff says, if I'm not mistaken, most of your dad's work is plein air. Yes, a lot of it is. He'll go out and do studies in plein air and then, you know, take photos and all that, and he'll come back to the studio. So a lot of times he works on really big pieces, like 4 foot by 8 foot, pieces of masonite. He works on masonite. And so he'll go out and he'll do a small study in plein air and then take lots of photos and then bring it back and then do a duplicate in a really big format. So a little bit of both, but he'll do in plein air conferences and retreats and stuff like that, which is amazing to me. I don't know how he can do what he does when everything is moving and the daylight is changing and the clouds are moving. It's really remarkable. Barbara, we are learning so much watching you create, and I love the energy of being with other artists too. Love the live streams, but focusing on everything you do. Thank you. I agree. Thank you, TH. Almond Joy, glad you can be here. Almond Joy says, do you have any suggestions for lettering? I'd like to do it on an acacia wood cutting board for a wedding gift. So whenever you're going to do lettering, you want crisp edges. This really is not the best point for lettering, although I have used this for lettering. Your main thing is I print out my lettering from the computer and then transfer that on with graphite. I do not just try to, hello. I struggle with that. I want something clean and crisp, and that's why I transfer my lettering on first. I'm gonna go really nice and slow and block in my lettering and then burn it in. Now again, there's other points that are a little bit better than this. I will, if I'm using, I guess, how do I say this? If my text is really big, I'll use the flow point that comes with the Versatool. If that's not small enough, I do have, Walnut Hollow makes a mini flow point that you have to buy separately from their website, but this is great for lettering. If you have a a razor tip, a wire tip burner, there's a ton of different points that you can use for text. So, yeah, make sure you print it out first, go nice and slow and smooth, and I hope that helps. So, I don't know, guys. We have done a text video. We did a wood burning of a rose. It was a yellow rose, and it had welcome at the top of it. So, Almond Joy, I do have that video of text showing how to wood burn text. It's on my Patreon page, and there's lots of other goods on there too. So, if you're more interested in that, feel free to take a look at my Patreon page, patreon.com/Minisa. And that'll give you like the in-depth thing for sure. Wow. Yeah, Barbara, I was very honored to see Conrad's place. I didn't really realize, I think at the time, how cool that was, but yeah, I think it was like maybe 5. But still made a very vivid image. Yeah, there's so many great artists that are no longer with us, which is really sad. Yeah, Barbara, Masonite is really cool. It's very actually inexpensive to get. You can go to your hardware store and get Masonite panels and actually have them cut them into different sizes. So Masonite comes in like a 4x8 sheet, and you can have it cut down, which is really cool. And then you just need to prime it with gesso, and then it's a great surface to paint on. And so my dad had this friend, this oil painting artist friend from Wyoming, and we went on a trip one time, and he was painting on Masonite panels, and he had a little bit of a temper, and he wound up getting mad, and he flung his painting panel out through a scree field of boulders, and then went over and picked it up, and it was perfect. It didn't get damaged at all, which was really kind of funny, because usually they ding the corners all the time, but he picked it up and calmed down and kept painting. They were painting en plein air, and I guess there were a lot of bugs or something that was causing problems. So, kind of a fun story. Okay, I'm going to start working down under here, because I keep kind of just burning the same area because I'm talking too much. Okay, here we go. Yes, Jeff, I think that's very cool. TH likes to use the skew tip for sharp, crisp edges. Yes. Thanks, Almond Joy. Yeah, just go find a font that you really like and match it to the size of the wood that you need and print it out. And that'll give you a great start. So down here, all these edges are really kind of soft and fluffy. Hello, Nito. And so I'm going to rock the point down a little bit. And these areas down here are going to just be a little bit more soft. We really miss Mina tonight. Mina said she couldn't be here tonight, but hi, Mina. So when Mina watches this on Patreon, everybody say hi, Mina. We miss you. Hope you're having a wonderful trip. Yes, plein air is very much a challenge, Barbara. I've done it a couple times. It's not easy. Rich is asking, have I ever burned an impressionistic painting? Copyright permission needed. You mean, have I done a replica of an impressionistic painting? I have not. There's a lot of art and photos out there that are free and fair use because of, the copyright holders have long since passed away. And you might be able to access some of those paintings from like an archival standpoint. The National Archives might have something impressionistic that you could kind of try. That would be pretty cool. Yep. Hi, Mina. We miss you too. Thanks everybody for saying hi to Mina. I know she'll appreciate that. So I'm just kind of lightly blocking in some of these areas with a really light, soft texture. And we can always go back and kind of darken this up. So something interesting that I think is important whenever you wood burn an unknown area, really take the time to kind of analyze it and take a look at it and see what you're doing. So if you look here on these cute little fluffy ridges, you'll notice that the darkest areas are at the top, and then they have a gradient that comes down until it matches the next ridge where it's really dark, and then a gradient that comes down. So all along this picture here, you'll see that same thing come to play where it's darker at the ridge and then there's a gradient that blends out. So that's how we're going to make those nice edges and ripples. Darker here and then it blends down. Darker and then blends down. So a lot of times when I'm struggling with a particular subject, I will really just study it and take my time and look at it and see, okay, where's my darkest values? Where are my lighter values? And how do I make that transition in between, kind of like a gradient? So we can go back over here and we're going to darken it up at the upper edge and then pull that down. Pull the values down into more of a gradient. Terry is asking, is this a snowy owl? I think this is actually a barn owl. Oh, Barbara, yeah, it's a barn owl. Yeah. Snowy owls are white, but they have like almost just pure black or white speckles on the back. The barn owls have the really flat face. So I think snow owls have a more rounded face. But good question. This is why I think layering is so cool and fun, because you can just kind of block an area in and it looks pretty rough, and then you can go back over and continue to refine it. As long as you work from lighter values to darker values, that's totally fine. And it's amazing how much value that we see here, even though it's a white critter. There's so many different things to look at. So when you're wood burning a white animal, anything, any white subject, don't focus on the whites. Focus on the areas around the whites, on the values that are not white. Because there really is a lot there if you just really kind of take a look at it. And then you can always adjust your photo in Photoshop or any other editing program to kind of really accentuate the lighter ranges and pull out some more values. So I'm just kind of pulling down a bit more of these values. Yes, guys, love Sam Elliott as well. Does look like he's wearing a bow tie. Okay, Rich has a great question. Rich asks, are owl wood burnings among the most popular for customers? Absolutely. It's really rare for me to make an owl wood burning and not have it sell. So owls, wolves, horses, bears are some of the top selling wood burnings that I have produced over the years. So if I need a little bit of money and I'll just go ahead and make an owl wood burning or a wolf. Those are really, really great sellers for sure. Thanks, Larry. It does look like he has a little bow tie or a mustache underneath, which is fun. Okay, so I don't have any giveaways right now, but I do have a question for everybody that can help me out a lot. I'm trying to put together a course for absolute beginners with no knowledge of wood burning. My question, if you'd be so kind to let me know, is what were some of your biggest troubles and challenges as a very beginning wood burning artist? Did you not know what tools to use? Did you not know what kind of wood to use? Did you not know even where to start? If you would be interested in answering those questions, just throw that in the chat and tell me, what were your biggest hurdles when starting as an absolute beginner with wood burning? That'd be great. I will be right back. I'm going to do a quick intermission, and I got to check on something really important really quick, and I'll be back. So if you want to take a couple minutes and type out what was your biggest challenge as a brand new beginner artist, that would be fantastic. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Thanks so much. Sorry, I had to take care of something. Okay. So let's keep going here. I'm going to keep kind of working around the edges here. He looks like he has a beard or a mustache. Okay. Okay. Chris Jones, dragons don't sell. I have not made a wood burning of a dragon yet. It's totally on my bucket list, but I haven't done it yet. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to keep going here, and then we'll kind of review the chat here in just a bit. Now, on occasion, I will go and do kind of a line like this, sometimes a skip burn line, to kind of block those areas in. have a sentinel right there. The cat is watching. Okay, so Jeff has had a problem with overburn, details, and values. Okay, Barbara had problems with stop spots, practicing with the tools, practicing on textures, and definitely shading. Okay, Earthborn Graphics is a beginner and is having trouble with accidental dents and color unevenness. Okay, very good. Tony, hi Tony. Tony says, I had no idea what wood burner or nibs I needed to start off with. Okay, very good. Barbara also says, and learning different wood types have different challenges. Yes. Laura says what wood to use, start and stop marks, and what temperature to be on. Okay. Angela says using a burner without temp control. I didn't know that you could get one with it until I saw your videos. Okay, yeah. Earthborn Graphics says shading. Larry says choosing subjects, regulating temperature to get the right values, start and stop marks. Good. Terry says still have hurdles, tools, stop, start marks, what kind of wood, how to transfer the pattern. I'm sure I could find more. Understood. He's got a soul patch. Okay, that's great. Rich says amount of pressure to apply to the wood and even consistent line burning. Okay. Mellow Yellow, clean lines, shading, deciding on a burner, what tools were necessary. TH says the importance of taking wood burning slowly, carefully, not to overburn, and remembering that you will make mistakes, and that's okay. Very, very true. Watch videos and practice, practice, practice. I agree. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for your comments. I have several courses in mind for the upcoming year that I'm trying to put out, including a shading course and a beginner's course and a couple other things that I'm working on. So I just want to make sure that those courses meet the needs of what everybody is wanting. So thank you so much for your help and your feedback. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so we're starting to develop kind of the edges of Mr. Owl. Okay. So these little areas, I might zoom in so you can see kind of some of these details a little bit better. So this all below here needs to kind of be blended and all that. I'm going to work a little bit more on these cute little fluffy things around the bottom area of his face. Chris, you are absolutely right. Safety is one of the biggest things to learn when you start out. Absolutely. Terry says which angle to hold the burner for different things to burn. Very good. Earthborn Graphics says I had big issues with getting too much texture when I blacked in the wolf's legs. Okay. Yep. Too much pressure. Steve says my biggest challenge was motivation. Gotcha. I understand that too. Safety. You haven't burned yourself yet. Been at it 5 years. You have done better than I have. I used to have like my hand here or something, and I was going back and forth, and I ran my burner into my finger a couple times. So I try to keep my hands farther back now and just off the wood. That's when I was like holding the wood and I didn't have a really good desk. I would just hold the wood in my lap, which was not very ergonomically pleasant. And I would wind up running the burner into my hand just because I was holding the wood. Just a couple times, and I fixed that for sure. That will leave an impression on you. So this is just kind of that general roughing in stage where we're trying to figure out how the reference photo matches up with our marks and blocking in some important features to move forward on later. But once you get those features in, you can go ahead and darken up some values where you need, and then pull that gradient down, and then go to the next edge and pull that gradient down, and that'll create that multi-layered effect. Yeah, Larry, that happens. Jeff, yeah, I don't really have a studio right now. I have taken over the living room and kind of blocked it off so I can focus. But I'm no longer working in my mom's garage, which is really nice. And we're not in a rental home or someone else's home or in an attic. I've burned in all those areas over the years. So it's really nice just to have, number one, our own home and a quiet little place to work. So it can be a challenge, you know, working at your kitchen table, whatever you have to do. We all start someplace for sure, and it builds to the story. Yeah. Behind every person that I think that we look up to or follow, there's a big struggle behind each and every person. Sometimes we don't always see that, and that's okay. But I think it's important to know that our own struggle is important, and it doesn't, we shouldn't really compare where we are to other people. Oh, I would love to have a studio as big as my dad's, but that's, you know, that's just not in the cards right now. I'm very grateful for what I have, and I'm very grateful for where I've come from. I started out in the basement of my parents' home, scrounging scraps of old paint and rotten, not really rotten, but old paintbrushes that were in the garbage. I picked out of the garbage to paint with. So that's kind of how I started my art career. So we all start from humble beginnings. It just adds to the life experience. But one day, my goal is to put a second story on our house so we don't have to clear the snow off by hand. And I will have a beautiful studio up there where I can see for miles. That is my goal. One day it'll happen. I don't know how it'll happen, but I'm going to keep that hope. I'll finally have an actual studio with a great view and no shoveling of the roof. So, yes, Barbara, we do all start somewhere. And yeah, the more you get to know other artists, it's completely the same way a lot of times. Artists, you know, it's not an easy path. It takes struggle and it takes trial, and I remember I would save up the entire year just to buy more basswood. Just buy it once a year, and it would have to, you know, it'd last me the rest of the year. But planning and saving and all that stuff, it's all part of it. I think it keeps us humble, for sure. Barbara, you can relate humble beginnings. Yep. Ah, you've got a separate studio. That's awesome. Very cool. Yep, it's a great goal. One of these days. That's my goal. Yeah, I mean, Barbara, we have an amazing view as it is, but if you get on top of the roof, it's even better. I don't like being on top of the roof though. It's a little bit scary. But put an extra story up there. It'll be gorgeous. What? Maybe one day I'll have like retreats and you guys can come and burn with me in the second story studio. Hi. You really can't be here. Okay, maybe you can. So Chris, you have a studio shop that's 24 by 32 old mobile schoolhouse. That's awesome. Very cool. Anytime you can get like just an area of your own, it's really important. I've had little bedrooms here and there. I gave those up to growing kids, and now I'm just in the living room. But it's really nice. Terry, you have an art studio and yet prefer to sit on your bed with your art light next to me and draw while sitting on the bed with the TV on and the door shut. That's your comfort zone. That's awesome. You know, I really struggled to be able to wood burn with like the TV going. I watch the TV too much and I think I get a little bit distracted. But I know a lot of people just listen to the TV. I'll either listen to audiobooks or something like that. Music to burn to. Yes, Earthborn Graphics, definitely. It'll be in the summertime. Although I might have some winter retreats for those people that are not faint of heart, I guess you could say. Now, the crazy thing is getting up to our place. That's where I think a lot of people have freaked out. I've actually had some people come up over the years in the summertime, and they were going bonkers with our road just to get up here. They didn't like the road. There's no guardrails. It's very steep. It's kind of scary. And what are you going to do? You're going to lay down. Okay. So at least in the winter, there's a 5-foot snow berm, and you really can't go off the road on the switchbacks. So that is one benefit to the winter. You really can't run off the road. Yeah, that'd be so fun, guys. I have cat hair everywhere, sorry. So we will obviously be doing, cat hair. We will obviously be doing another wood burning of this next week. And you guys remember how we talked about how it takes so much time to develop the darks, all that, and then once you get that into play, those light areas just like breathe. You can just breeze through the lighter areas, and it goes really, really fast. So I know it seems like we didn't accomplish very much tonight, but those dark values take time, and then once we get those out of the way, then we can really kind of make some good time on with the next project. So hopefully the next project we'll be able to dive into a lot more on this one. Barbara, will you need a snowcat to get to my house? No, because we plow the road. We plow miles of road, but it's crazy getting here. One of these days I had to take like a little video on my way to town and show you guys how much snow and all that there is. It's remarkable. It's not easy to get here, for sure. And everybody has to bring a shovel. Everybody's gonna shovel snow if you come at a wood burning seminar. How fun would that be, though? That'd be so cool. Yeah, oh my gosh, TH, it's almost 8 o'clock. So Jeff, I would just be happy to meet you someday. Aw. Love watching your videos. I love that you guys are here as well. So appreciate you guys. So, Jeff, where are you? I know somebody was in Kansas. I forget who, if that was you or... But you never know. I mean, I've done wood burning. Like I had a craft fair, like an art fair in my town. And this lovely lady walks up and she's like, I know you. And we had actually conversed and sent messages back and forth years ago when she was living in a different state. And she just shows up to my hometown, and there she is. And so she knew who I was. So that was really cool. So never say never, Jeff. I'd love to meet you. Shovels and snowshoes. Yep, it'll be fun. We'll do a winter and a summer thing, Terry. That sounds fun. Hi, Matt. Yeah, the cold and frozen north. Yeah. If you had to shovel, your back wouldn't let you sit and burn. Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now, Matt. My neck and my back are the worst. Of course, I have injuries, but that's okay. We do what we gotta do. You know, you could just hold the shovel. That'd be fine. Everybody needs a shovel supervisor. Well, this has been so fun, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Jeff, you're in Pennsylvania. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a ways away. I don't think I've made it. I've been to Ohio, but not quite Pennsylvania. So, Barbara, you have a niece in Colorado and friends in Idaho and Wyoming. It would be a fun trip. Rich, you gave away all your shovels. I can imagine. In Florida, I don't think you really need shovels. Sand, maybe? Could you shovel sand? That might work. Okay, so, yes, there you go. If you can't shovel, you can make the hot chocolate. I'll do the shoveling. Thanks for being here, Matt. This has been fun. I wish we would have gotten a little bit farther on this project, but you know, anytime that you have these like really intricate areas, you got to take your time, and it just takes time to kind of build up the values, and we'll get to the rest of it for sure. Wood burning just takes so much time, but we can even add in a little bit of rough areas here. I tend to focus on the darks first just because I like to see those evolve, and I think that it's a really important aspect to like a foundation for the whole wood burning to happen. But this stuff will go fast, quite fast, because there's not a whole lot in here that we need to put in. Yeah, Terry says, Matt and I could hold the shovels and everyone can push us. Hey, there you go. That's great. Ooh, Matt, hot mulled cider. Very good. Terry, you don't need shovels in Florida either. Thanks, Jeff. Have a great night. Thanks, Matt. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. We will, the 20th. Yeah. We'll be same place, same time next week. We'll continue working on the owl and try to get a little bit more progress done. But like I said, the lighter values will definitely go quicker. Thanks, Mellow Yellow. That's a lot of fun. I really appreciate just everybody being here and sharing in the joy. Yeah. Good times. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Laura. Good night, Rich. Thanks, Cheryl. You have a good weekend too, Larry. Hello, Mario. Where do I buy the wood? I get, this is basswood. I get it from walnuthollow.com, and they have amazing sources of basswood. So I hope that helps. Good night, Angela. Okay. Angela, yeah, it takes a while for sure. You only got one eye burned? Okay. Well, you can always watch it again on Patreon, so. Matt has a bunch of fresh basswood that came down locally in a storm about 2 months ago. Wow, lots of logs. That is way cool. When we have timber come down, it's usually like Douglas fir or Engelmann spruce, blue spruce, that kind of thing. They're a little bit more unpleasant to burn on just because of the pitch and the sap and all that. But you're welcome, Mario. So I'm just kind of like filling in some of the lighter areas here so it looks a little bit more complete before we sign off. Cool. Very good, Angela. Thanks, Terry. You'll be sending me an email. Okay. Very good. I'll look forward to that. Matt, that's very cool that you got some more basswood. Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Terry, you're still watching. Yep. I'm just kind of just playing here. Well, and it's amazing how just a little bit of shading can really bring this little guy to life. Thanks, Deb. I look forward to next week as well. Good night, Laura. All right, 8 o'clock. So I will see you this week. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you next week.